So financial literacy, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very important because your money's being played around. And right now, we have the emergence of the BRICS nation, which will strip down to the nub. Down to the nub.
I don't really understand the impact of that.
I'll explain to you what happened before the BRICS. All right? A little historical content that I know. We had what was called petrodollar, which was an agreement between the Saudis and the U.S., right? I think it was created around 1971, somewhere around that time. Henry Kissinger. And the agreement was for any nation to purchase oil, they have to take their dollar, change it to the U.S. currency, and then it's a 3-step, right? And then you can buy oil. So why is that so important? All right, think about this. It took a manufacturing process to do your comb, let's say, or toothbrush. But how does it get there? Manufacture was the next stage. First we had hand labor, then you had manufacturing, the Industrial Revolution. So everything is tied to that. So we are heavily dependent on fuel and oil.
Yeah.
The trucks for delivery, the machinery that makes the product, plastic bottles, glass bottles, all of these are tied to machines that need oil daily. Well, I haven't spoken about automobiles, trains, planes, and all this other stuff. So for our basic needs of getting food from point A to point B already involves oil because of the transportation factor. And if it's flown by airplane, same idea. So now when this agreement expired within the last 10 years, the first nation that was to step out was the Saudis. And India and Germany were right around that time. I don't remember having it in sequence. Why? Because we don't have the best relationship with these nations. So why would they want to be tied? It's like your landlord telling you, if you move out, you still pay. Would you pay? Right. So that's my point. So because the U.S. dollar was no longer backed by oil, and at one point we went to gold, which happened previously. So we went to gold to oil, but right now the U.S. dollar is not tangible. So with all this thing unraveling, this beautiful, beautiful box unraveled, nations after nations, they rolled out. They said, we don't need you anymore. We may have some other relationship, but that's it. As far as us being 100% dependable to a U.S. dollar, that became a problem. So the U.S. dollar has slowly but surely lost its value. Now, these nations who are no longer tied to the U.S. dollars, right? Now they started their own version of currency.
What?
And now this currency is going to take, here's the dollar comes out in 2024. This is why financial knowledge is so important. It's around 2024, this one currency, I don't know the name of it yet because it's still in the works or whatever is going on, it's going to be 55 US dollar. You ever went to Jamaica and you want a simple cab ride that's talking about 70,000 dollars? The number 70 just already makes it seem like it's crazy because we're not used to using these level of denominations. So that's the idea. So if it takes 55 US, and the U.S. dollar, slowly but surely, is being eroded like sand, right? You go to the beach, you put your foot down, and you kind of like you sink in the sand. That's what's happened to the U.S. dollar. It's sinking in value consistently. How much is that going to be worth later on? Because we no longer have the oil backing. Nobody needs to go through us. So BRICS, let me see if I got let me see if the oil card is working. Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, and I forgot the K. No, that's it. BRICS. Okay?
Oh, that's what this was.
Yeah. And there's more joining. So these nations put together, they're creating their own currency that's going to be backed by gold. That was one part of their setup, and fuel, because the Saudis control the fuel. There's no longer an agreement tied to the U.S. dollar. So now what happens to the U.S. dollar? So now, if we control how much fuel people buy by tying back to the U.S. dollar, how much is going to be milked? $5. Why not? You have to think everything is unraveled now. It's like you go from this to loose. It's done.
If you want to check out other snippets or the full interview with Betty, check it out right here.